In 1973, the United States ended its military draft. For over 50 years, no American president forced a citizen to fight a war they didn't choose. That principle survived Vietnam's shame. It survived the Gulf War. It survived Iraq, Afghanistan, 23 years of boots on foreign soil. It survived everything, until now. At exactly 10:47 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, March 8, 2026, in a single televised sentence, the possibility of American conscription returned to the national conversation, not by enemies of America, by the administration of a man who received 5 draft deferments during Vietnam. Here's what that sentence triggered. 17 days earlier, the United States and Israel launched Operation Epic Fury, the largest joint military assault in the Middle East since the Iraq invasion. Over 1,000 Iranian sites struck in 48 hours. Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei dead. But Iran didn't collapse. It retaliated against 9 countries, with missiles, with drones, against U.S. bases in Saudi Arabia, against LNG facilities in Qatar, against a U.S. fuel vessel in the Indian Ocean. And now, 7 American soldiers are dead. Oil prices are climbing toward $80 a barrel. The Strait of Hormuz, the choke point for 20% of the world's oil supply, is under threat. And the White House just refused to rule out drafting your children. In the next 12 minutes, you will see the exact words that shattered the MAGA coalition overnight. The leaked data proving your wallet is already bleeding. The market reaction economists called a wild card no one priced in, and why this crisis could permanently change your economy and your family. Sunday morning, March 8th. Maria Bartiromo is doing what journalists do when a country is at war. She's asking the hard question. Mothers out there are worried we're going to have a draft, that they're going to see their sons and daughters get involved in this. Leavitt doesn't hesitate. 3 demands are embedded in her answer, each one more alarming than the last. Demand 1. President Trump wisely does not remove options off of the table. Translation: the draft is a live option. The White House just said so. Demand 2. The President as Commander-in-Chief wants to continue to assess the success of this military operation. Translation: this war isn't ending soon. It's being evaluated, week by week, casualty by casualty. Demand 3. It's not part of the current plan right now. Right now. 2 words. The most dangerous 2 words in American politics, because right now means it could be tomorrow. The moment the clip went live, the phones started ringing. Republican phones, MAGA phones, and the first to go nuclear wasn't a Democrat. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene, former Georgia Republican Congresswoman, the woman who spent years as Trump's most loyal defender, posted to X within minutes. Karoline Leavitt doesn't rule out a draft. How about the answer is no draft and no boots on the ground, because we campaigned on no more foreign wars. Liars. Every single one of them. Not my son. Over my dead body. 45 seconds. All caps. 7 exclamation points. What happened next shocked Washington. We do evidence here. Receipt 1. The leaked constitutional crisis. The United States Constitution is explicit. Congress declares war. Congress authorizes the draft, but Operation Epic Fury was launched without a single formal congressional authorization. No War Powers Resolution compliance. No vote. The Brookings Institution published a direct assessment. The strikes represent a dangerous normalization of unilateral military force and political assassination, potentially eroding the UN Charter's prohibitions on the use of force. That's not an opinion. That's a legal verdict from one of Washington's most respected think tanks. Receipt 2. The market reaction nobody expected. Money doesn't lie. When Operation Epic Fury began February 28th, Brent crude was trading at $70 a barrel. Within 72 hours, it hit nearly $80, a 14% surge. Iran's drones struck Qatar's LNG facilities, forcing a production shutdown. JPMorgan economist Joseph Lupton warned, and I'm quoting directly, "A military war, layered on top of the ongoing U.S. war on trade, could reignite concerns over global stability. This nascent recovery is now at risk." Carlyle investment firm put the probability of oil breaching $120 per barrel at a real and calculable scenario if the Strait of Hormuz is disrupted. That's not math theory. That's the world's most sophisticated investors hedging against your gas pump. Receipt 3, the public meltdown. On Sunday, Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, sat down with 60 Minutes. He was asked about more American deaths. His answer, "There will be more casualties. Things like this don't happen without casualties. That doesn't weaken us one bit." And then came the sharpest irony in modern American politics. Democrats, veteran Democrats, reminded the world of something. The man now sending troops to die in the Middle East. The man whose White House refused to rule out drafting your sons and daughters. Received 5 draft deferments during Vietnam. That's not opinion. That's math. Here's what the geopolitical textbooks say happens next. When a leader governs through dominance, through ultimatums, through all options on the table rhetoric, they create a specific psychological trap. Trust evaporates first. Allies stop believing you. Spain has already denied the United States' use of jointly operated military air bases, not an adversary, a NATO ally, a Western democracy. Said no. Then comes the doom loop. It works like this. The more pressure you apply, threats, escalation, we keep all options open, the more your own coalition fractures. Your most loyal supporters, the MTGs of the world, the true believer MAGA base, realize the promises made on the campaign trail are evaporating in real time. No more foreign wars. America first. Regime change is over. Gone. Replaced by Operation Epic Fury. 7 body bags. A press secretary who won't say the word no. The doom loop accelerates. MTG isn't just one angry tweet. She's representing millions of working-class Republican voters who sent their children to fight the last unwinnable wars. They remember Iraq. They remember Afghanistan. Short-term power looks like strength. Long-term credibility is built on something else entirely, and right now, America is burning both at the same time. Let me make this personal. Your car. Oil moved from $70 to nearly $80 in 72 hours. Simple math. Every $10 increase in oil translates to roughly 25 cents more per gallon of gas. If the Strait of Hormuz shuts down, analysts at Natixis say oil could hit $120. That's a potential 50-cent per gallon increase at your local pump before the summer driving season. Your retirement fund. JPMorgan flagged it directly. Business investment and hiring that was just beginning to accelerate is now frozen. Former Fed Chair Janet Yellen told an S&P Global conference that this war puts the Federal Reserve even more on hold, more reluctant to cut rates. No rate cuts means your mortgage stays expensive, your credit card stays expensive, your future stays more expensive, your national security. Iran has now launched drones and missiles against 9 countries, including American military bases in Saudi Arabia. The IRGC has targeted a U.S. fuel support vessel in the Indian Ocean. That's not a regional skirmish anymore. That's global asymmetric warfare. Your country's reputation. Spain said no to American air bases. The EU's E3, France, Germany, the UK, issued a statement warning they will take steps to defend their interests. That's the language of allies protecting themselves from their own partners' choices. When allies start self-protecting, that's not a footnote. That's a headline. Here's the verdict. 20 years ago, the United States built a global coalition in the Middle East on a promise. Democracy, stability, a rules-based international order. We know how that ended. The helicopters over Kabul, the chaos at the airport, the billion-dollar equipment left behind. Now look at what's forming on the other side. Russia, even from the trenches of Ukraine, is watching American credibility in the Middle East drain away. China is quietly evacuating 400,000 nationals from the UAE while positioning itself as the region's economic anchor when the dust settles. Turkey is hardening against Israel. Iran, even decapitated, is still firing missiles at 9 countries. And at home, the coalition that put Trump in power is fracturing in real time over a draft nobody voted for. Marjorie Taylor Greene said it best. Liars, every single one of them. 5 words. From Trump's most loyal defender. directed at Trump's own White House. Geopolitics is a game of dominoes. One falls, then another, then another. And the terrifying thing about dominoes isn't the first one that falls. It's the one nobody noticed was already leaning. Operation Epic Fury was the first domino. 7 dead American soldiers was the second. A White House that won't say the word no to a draft is the third. And the fourth domino? That one is still standing, vibrating, waiting. Here's my question for you, and I want you to answer it in the comments right now. If the White House refuses to rule out a military draft, and 7 soldiers are already dead, at what point does America first become America last? Drop your answer below. This debate needs to happen. If you believe geopolitics, real geopolitics, backed by evidence, should be part of every conversation at your dinner table, hit subscribe, because this story is not over. It is not even close to over. The next move could happen tomorrow.